Phoenix Splash TV.
향해 두근대는 맘 전부 다 줄게 take my heart 분명 넌 나의 destiny 빛이 나 내 맘 가득.
Hello there, what is up? And welcome to the final stop of my K-pop journey. Now, before some of you get mad and unsubscribe, let me explain the reason why I even looked into K-pop in the first place. If you're a composer or even a musician, the last thing you want to do is stay in your box. You want to broaden your horizons. Even though my initial reaction to K-pop was fairly negative, I still dug deep into the music genre to see what I could learn from it. Initially, I found a lot of bad things in the genre, but as I dug deeper, I actually found some pretty cool stuff, and then I found some more bad things. So since people have been wanting me to make another video bashing K-pop, I will start with the bad, and end pleasantly with the good. Now, if you haven't seen my K-pop sucks video and the video that takes place after, I suggest watching those two first because I'm not going to repeat a lot of what I say in those videos. In short, K-pop, like American pop, is guilty of overusing popular song ideas or motifs. That was my initial turnoff from K-pop as a whole, but it's important to note that not all K-pop composers are guilty of this. So which ones are? The biggest culprits I found are G-Dragon and the YG Company. Usually when I hear a song overusing popular motifs, I check the composer, and most of the time it's produced by someone with the YG Company. If you're a fan of this music, your initial response to my statement may be, well, there's only so many notes in music, and it's okay if it's not original. And my counter argument to that is that the composers are intentionally overusing the motifs. When a composer writes like this, they're pretty much writing with a commercial intention rather than an artistic one. The goal of the song isn't to express an emotion or evoke anything. It's to copy something else that's already popular and just make as much money with the song while those motifs are still relevant. And you might be thinking, well, American pop is doing this too. And you are right, they are, and it is equally as bad. Musically, that's still my main beef with many K-pop songs. So if you're a K-pop hater and you dislike it for the same reasons that I do, then stay away from these composers. They write with the intention of writing on what's popular, and I bet you anything, if you get them in a room all alone with no cameras and no mics, they'd even admit it. But let's move on to something beyond music composition, something that may be a little bit more sinister, and that is the abuse within the industry. I've read articles, I've heard stories, I've even listened on talk radio when I'm not even researching K-pop, all about the abuse within the K-pop industry. There was even an argument on my video that stated that since K-pop stars are treated so badly, that we have to like the music because the star has gone through so much. And that is a terrible mindset to have. Nobody should have to go through physical and sexual abuse. And honestly, one could argue that supporting K-pop means supporting that kind of behavior in the music industry. There is so much criticism about how the K-pop industry is run, from money not being distributed fairly, and to even abuse leading to suicide. It's pretty terrible. As far as song genres go, the business side of K-pop is probably one of the most toxic I've ever researched. This is a negative that I feel that even the most hardcore K-pop fans will agree with. And if you don't believe what I'm saying, all you have to do is do a simple Google search and you'll find many articles criticizing the business side of K-pop. Now let's talk about some of the good within K-pop. Just like there's bad composers within K-pop, there's actually some good composers as well. For this video, a bad composer is a composer who overuses popular motifs and writes with a solely commercial intention. Nothing original comes out of the song, and the end result usually amounts to nothing distinctive. A good pop composer finds a way to balance popular motifs or just writes something completely unique altogether. And keep in mind that this is pop composition, so we're not going to have composers like Kamijo who use all these compositional techniques. We're going to have composers who compose at a simple level. The most popular example of a good pop composer within K-pop is Black Eyed Pilseung. Listen to how Black Eyed Pilseung uses the Versace flow or the triplet flow in the song called Likey in comparison to Teddy Park's Boombaya. Pilseung uses the flow very briefly while even throwing a fake out at the end of the song, and actually changes the time signature to exemplify the motif. While Boombaya just kind of uses it the same way everyone else does. I can go on about how Black Eyed Pilseung successfully incorporates popular motifs, but I think that example pretty much sums up that Black Eyed Pilseung composes really well. Many times the composition doesn't even have popular motifs at all and just strives to be something completely original. There are actually many examples of this within their composition. Along with the Black Eyed Pilseung duo, there are other groups like the upcoming Luna that have interesting compositions as well, and I may get a lot of flack for this, but the group BTS does not fit my category for a bad composer. Though they don't implement popular motifs as well as the Pilseung duo, from what I heard so far, they still implement them better than the YG company, and their B-side tracks are somewhat hidden gems. K-pop did break the language barrier and did so in a big way, and I hope that this will open doors for future musicians that don't speak English. Will it? I don't know, only time will tell. So, as a composer myself, what can I take from K-pop and apply it to my own compositions? The answer is absolutely nothing. It's pretty tough to take elements from this and apply it to a prog rock alternative trio band, or any style that I compose in. It's not really the genre's fault or anything like that, but if I ever find myself composing for a group of perfect looking dancers, I think I have a pretty good reference point. Will I ever find myself in that situation? Well, never say never. But for the time being, I think I'm going to close the door on K-pop in general. I don't really have any intention of mixing popular motifs in my own music, even if it is in a clever way, simply because my type of music doesn't really call for it, and I'm more interested in creating my own motifs rather than taking what's popular. If I ever do go back to listening to K-pop, it'll probably be one of those obscure B-side songs that one member from one group writes and records on hers or his side projects. I feel like those songs I can learn the most from. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed my overview of K-pop. And anyways guys, this is Josh the Music Man, signing off.